Olindo Shehu, thank you for talking to Bloomberg Adria. What is the biggest challenge facing Adria region today?
Thanks for the question. Thanks for the opportunity to have this discussion. I believe we have a number of challenges in our region as a result of a number of factors that have happened during the last few years. One of them is COVID. It did change the way we work. It did change the way that we actually even lead our lives. And this has had a big impact in terms of talent. This has had a big impact in terms of talent, not only for the Adria region, also outside of it, but of course we are seeing an impact. Most of the businesses that we work with, this is the biggest challenge that we are having, not finding enough people to move forward the projects that we had already started.
Are you talking now about Adria region or Europe or all the world?
I would say that this is an impact that actually has touched the world, but also us in Adria region. This has been a big asset for us. Talent is a very, very big asset for us. We have very talented people in the region that have served markets outside of the region. Now, with the shortage of talent that is actually happening in the Western Europe, we are being impacted by it as well. And this is in the way that working for the region before, it used to be quite an advantage of our region, of Adria region. We had talented people that served markets in the Western Europe. Now, these talented people have left our region. We are actually suffering from a brain drain in almost all of our countries, where our talented professionals are choosing to live in other countries, and this is actually putting a lot of pressure on the talent availability in our region.
What kind of consequences the Adria region might face due to this brain drain?
The consequences could be numerous, but the immediate ones are not having enough talents to actually support the growth that the economy has had, especially during these last 20 years. This is something that would put some brakes to our growth, and it's not positive. There's a lot of things that we should do to mitigate it, but the moment we need to accept the fact that yes, we are having a brain drain, and this is something that is happening not in one country but in a number of them.
What to do in that case?
I believe...
Are we talking about importing workforce from other markets?
It depends on the industry. It depends on the sectors. There are some sectors that would be the immediate action. In our region, tourism is a big sector, and that probably will be the solution for that sector. But that's a short-term solution. Mm-hmm. I believe governments, but primarily private businesses, need to get closer with the universities. We need to spend our time on developing the future talents that will be ready for the workforce. We need to get closer to the development of the talents from the education phase, from the universities, potentially even high school.
What is the biggest risk that financial sector is facing in 2023?
There's a number of outside factors that are happening around us. There's a war in Ukraine that is providing a lot of uncertainties, what the future will look like. And those uncertainties typically make investments to take a step back, wait and see what's going to happen. So there's a slowdown that could be coming as a result of the war in Ukraine. We have an energy crisis that is coming as a result of it. And this energy crisis has caused prices to go up for certain products to a point that it's leading to maybe not even not a sustainable growth for some sectors or industries. Inflation is hitting most of our markets, but to levels that it's been a long time since the last time we saw them. You combine all of this, and yes, of course, we have a lot of challenges ahead of us. 2023, I like it sometimes in discussions we say it depends on how the winter will look like. If it's a cold winter, then the crisis will be even bigger. But that's to the point that we are actually analyzing it. and without undermining everything else, but yes, winter will actually have something to say as well on how the economy will look like. But 2023, I do anticipate it's going to be a challenging year for all of us in the Adria region. It's probably for the entire Europe, and we are the ones facing this combination of factors the most, different from the North America. And in summary, I think that it's the combination of these three main factors. And by the way, we're not talking about COVID, but COVID is still around us, yes? So we don't know how the winter will actually end up being, but that's another factor that it's going to contribute to the number of challenges that we will face for 2023.
One of the challenges for 2023 will be a recession. Everybody's talking about it. So what is your view? Can we be in position to avoid deep recession?
I don't know whether we have the luxury to avoid a deep recession, not because there's something that we can do and we're not doing, but a lot of the factors behind the recession are outside of our control. So we do need to prepare for it. There's a lot of actions that we need to take, even on an individual level, but of course at the business level, to keep recession at some controlled level. But in my opinion, the recession is going to slow down the growth of the economy that we have had until now. For many industries, will eliminate the job openings that we used to have and we could not fill because we could not find enough talents. So maybe we'll not even see any reduction of or layover of people, because before this crisis hit us, you know very well, we had a very big shortage of talent pool. So job openings that were not being able to be filled. And those job openings that were never filled, now with this recession, will just simply be eliminated. So hopefully this recession will be short term, up to the point that we eliminate empty job openings that we were never able to fill, and then economy starts picking up again. This is a positive outlook. I'm typically a positive person, so I would like to see it as a half glass full, but this is not to undermine the tough times that is ahead of us.
Budgeting for 2023 for most companies is already completed. Somebody is still working on it. What would you suggest them? Where to put the focus in next year?
You asked me a question which I didn't give you an answer, but now we can link it with it, the risk on the financial sector.
Yes.
Cybersecurity is a huge topic nowadays. And if we look at the risk in the financial sector, I would say that risk and regulatory compliance is actually a big topic for the financial sector nowadays. And financial sector industry, that's where we would put part of the budget. Another part of it is in terms of digitalization. We had a global meeting at Deloitte in Rome, and one of the CEOs of a large technology firms that was our guest, he mentioned that if companies are not thinking about digitalization, they're way behind in terms of their growth. So digitalization, both in the financial sector and non-financial sector, is a must. Technology is prevailing. It's part of our lives. It's prevailing on how we do business. So putting a budget in terms of technology transformation and digitalization is a must. It goes without saying. And this is actually we are going to see this in all industries.
What is your outlook for Europe and especially for the region in 2023?
We will go through a tough winter. We do need to actually contribute as much as we can as companies and as individuals. And then after winter, I am hoping for economic recovery.
Do you see any particular industries which will suffer the most?
The industries, and it goes without saying that will be impacted the most, are the ones that the energy prices has a direct impact. But of course, when the energy prices go up, almost all of our industries are impacted, yes? But we do have some manufacturing industries that will be impacted the most.
Do you see that the financial sector will be stable?
I do believe that the financial sector will be stable. We are actually on solid grounds. It will go through tough times, of course, but I believe that it will be stable.
And do you see that investors will be more reserved in 2023, or will they be looking for more opportunities to invest their money?
Investors behave differently depending on the industry, depending on what their objectives are. We do see that in time of crisis, some investors, some industries are even more active in acquisitions, in mergers. And there are some investors that actually do put the brakes on. They do wait and see what the outcome will be, maybe after winter, maybe next year. So it really depends. Typically at Deloitte, we do see that during crisis, our volume of work in terms of mergers and acquisitions goes up because there's a lot of those movements happening. But investments to increase the investment, those would probably be reserved until we go over, hopefully, this crisis that is with us at this point.
Olindo, Shehu, thank you very much for talking to Bloomberg Adria.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.